What is up? What is up? YouTube. Murdered. Oh my God. Kutcher exposed everything we need. Scary rise to fame. Oh my God. Oh my God. One of the things that tripped me out is I've been trying to figure out for years, how do a person like this guy come out of nowhere? You get punked, and all of a sudden he big time, and all of a sudden he best friends with Diddy. It gotta be some combination there, man, or whatever the case may be. I am waiting to see what he got to say. Cause he looked like he just like that basketball player, Paul. He ain't no real gangster street dude. You know, I know he ain't from the streets. He from the land of keeping everything hush hush. Undercover brothers and stuff like that. They from that land. That's a whole different side of the fence. How did these fences come together? You got people, undercover brothers, they scared, hush hush, whatever. Then you got the thugs with the that's supposed to be, I would fight at the drop of a hat. Now all of a sudden there's so many hip hop people that's undercover, and there's a lot of in the gym working out, and they built. Excuse me? Can you imagine a big cock diesel? Because I used to run sound at the Gay Pride show. On Georgia Avenue, every year they had this big Gay Pride show, and all the people there was gay. I ain't got nothing against it. What make it so bad is I can thrive in it because I know who I am. Biggest payday every year. People turn it down. Man, I ain't trying to be around all them gay people. Hey, I don't mind being around them. They pay well. Anyway, Ashton Kutcher down with them. Long story short, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I'm dying to see what he got to say in this case. Let's check it out.
Okay, I've gotten a lot. I can't tell. So,
I can't tell that story.
Can't tell that one either.
We all know Ashton Kutcher as the funny, lovable goofball from That 70s Show. But what if I told you there's a whole other side to his Hollywood story? Behind the charm and comedy, there's a string of odd connections, eerie coincidences, and some eyebrow-raising friendships that make his rise to fame a lot more mysterious than it seems. From unexpected tragedies to links with some pretty controversial people, things aren't as squeaky clean as they look. Stick around, because once you hear this, you might see Ashton in a whole new light. Ashley Elleren's murder and Ashton's connection. Ashley Elleren's story is one of the most chilling cases connected to Michael Gargiulo, better known as the Hollywood Ripper. On February 21, 2001, the 22-year-old FIDM student was getting ready for a fun night out when tragedy struck. The next morning, her roommate, Jennifer DeSisto, walked into a horrifying scene. Ashley was lying just outside the bathroom, unresponsive. She had been harmed 47 times, with 12 of those wounds being severe enough to cause serious injury. Investigators later noted that she had fought back, as there were defensive wounds on her hands and forearm. Elleren had met Gargiulo months earlier, and had no idea of the danger he posed. Originally from Illinois, Gargiulo had a troubling past, but he came across as just another friendly neighbor. He first approached Ashley and a friend in late 2000, offering to help fix a flat tire. He later handed her a business card advertising his air conditioning repair business. Sounds harmless, right? Well, it wasn't. Soon after, he started showing up uninvited, parking near her home, and watching her. Prosecutors later described this as part of a disturbing pattern. Gargiulo would befriend young women, gain their trust, and then strike when they least expected it. Sadly, Ashley's case was not the only one. In 2005, Gargiulo was linked to the tragic loss of Maria Bruno, a 32-year-old mother of 4 in El Monte, California. Investigators found a surgical booty with Bruno's DNA outside her home, and when they later searched Gargiulo's attic, they found more just like it. His final known attack came in 2008, when he entered the home of Michelle Murphy, a young woman in Santa Monica. But Michelle fought back, so much so that Gargiulo cut himself during the struggle. That one mistake was enough for authorities to finally track him down, as the DNA he left behind led to his arrest.
Damn.
Once in custody, investigators realized Gargiulo's crimes stretched back even further. He was linked to the 1993 case of Trisha Picaccio, an 18-year-old from Chicago. Despite DNA evidence connecting him to that case, he had managed to avoid justice for years. After nearly 2 decades of investigations and legal delays, Gargiulo was convicted in 2019 on 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. On October 18th, a jury recommended the death penalty. His crimes, particularly Ashley's, remain some of the most unsettling true crime cases in Hollywood's history. Ashton Kutcher's testimony and public scrutiny.
Here we go.
Ashton Kutcher's role in the Michael Gargiulo trial had people talking, with some wondering if his testimony cleared things up or just made everything more confusing.
What the hell went on with that high-pitched voice? Ashton Kutcher, dog, that is not a production, man. What happened?
Ashley's remain some of the most unsettling true crime cases in Hollywood's history.
Watch this.
Ashton Kutcher's testimony and public scrutiny. Ashton Kutcher's role in the Michael Gargiulo trial had people talking, with some wondering if his testimony cleared things up or just made everything more confusing. The That 70s show star took the stand in May 2019 to go over what happened the night his planned date, Ashley Ellerin, was tragically killed back in 2001.
Damn,
While prosecutors saw him as a key witness, the defense tried to spin his words to raise doubts about Gargiulo's guilt. Kutcher told the court that he and Ellerin had plans for the evening of February 21, 2001. The last time they spoke, at 8:24 p.m., she casually mentioned she had just hopped out of the shower and was getting ready. But when he called again later, no response. Thinking she might be annoyed because he was running late, he showed up at her Hollywood Hills home around 10:45 p.m., knocked, and peeked through the window. What he thought was spilled wine on the floor was later revealed to be something far worse: Ellerin's blood. I knocked again, and once again, no answer, Kutcher told the court. At this point, I pretty well assumed she had left for the night, and that I was late, and she was upset.
I knocked on the door, there was no answer. Knocked again, and once again, no answer. He adds, at this point, I pretty well assumed she had left for the night and that I was late and she was upset.
The next morning, Ellerin's roommate made the horrific discovery, and investigators determined she had been attacked sometime after her last call with Kutcher. But the defense, led by attorney Daniel Nardoni, wasn't about to let things go that easily. He pointed to Ellerin's apartment manager, who testified that he had been inside her home when Kutcher called. A neighbor also recalled hearing screams around 8:30 p.m., just minutes after Kutcher's last phone call, suggesting she may have been harmed earlier than prosecutors claimed. The defense hinted that maybe the apartment manager had something to do with it instead. Prosecutors, however, weren't buying it. Michelle Murphy, because of her strength and courage, allowed investigators to work backwards to find the killer of Trisha Picaccio, of Ashley Ellerin, of Maria Bruno, Deputy District Attorney Garrett Dameron told the jury. In the end, the jury didn't waver. Gargiulo was found guilty. But even after the trial wrapped up, people couldn't help but speculate about Kutcher's involvement, with some still questioning whether his testimony clarified the case or just made it even murkier. Hollywood tragedies and Brittany Murphy's death. Ashton Kutcher's ties to Hollywood's more unsettling stories don't stop. They also include his former girlfriend, Brittany Murphy. The just-married co-stars had a whirlwind romance in the early 2000s, and Kutcher didn't hold back when talking about how special Murphy was. He once gushed that she was so incredible and so amazing that you can't believe that she's real. Their chemistry had fans convinced their on-screen love had turned into something real. And even Kutcher's mom noticed how close they were, saying they were always holding hands, goofing around, wrestling around, the way people in love do. However, despite their obvious bond, Kutcher kept things vague about their relationship, saying, "I don't even know that we're actually dating. We're just kind of companions." But when Murphy passed away in 2009 at just 32, he spoke fondly of her, remembering how she was always the first person to dance at a party and choosing to celebrate who she was, rather than trying to make sense of her unexpected passing. Murphy's death was officially attributed to pneumonia, with anemia and multiple medications playing a role. But the circumstances surrounding it have fueled speculation for years. Just 5 months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, passed away in the same home under eerily similar conditions, sparking theories that something more was going on. Some believed toxic mold in their Hollywood Hills house was to blame, while others speculated about a possible connection to Diddy, especially since his ex, Kim Porter, also passed away from pneumonia. Internet sleuths even noted that Monjack had ties to Diddy's personal trainer, leading to wild theories about money troubles and hidden motives. Kutcher, meanwhile, wasn't in regular contact with Murphy before her passing, but did see her about 2 months prior when she auditioned for a role in a show he was producing. In a Nightline interview, he admitted he didn't try to make sense of what happened to her, choosing instead to remember the happiness she brought to those around her. With Hollywood scandals continuing to unravel, the conversation surrounding Murphy's tragic passing and Kutcher's past associations isn't going away anytime soon. The Haunted Mansion Theory. Brittany Murphy's sudden passing in 2009 has always been surrounded by unanswered questions, but there's one unsettling detail that keeps coming up: her Hollywood Hills home. She bought the property from Britney Spears in 2003, and both stars reportedly had eerie experiences while living there. What makes it even stranger? Just 5 months after Murphy's death, her husband, Simon Monjack, also passed away in the same house, under nearly identical circumstances. Murphy and Monjack lived there with her mother, Sharon Murphy, who was the one to call 911 the morning Britney collapsed in the bathroom. She had been dealing with flu-like symptoms for days, but things took a turn for the worse. The clueless star was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where she was later pronounced dead. The official cause? Pneumonia and anemia. No illegal substances were found. Then, in May 2010, Monjack was discovered unresponsive in the very same home, and his cause of death was also ruled as pneumonia and anemia. With two nearly identical tragedies happening so close together, it's no surprise that theories began swirling. One of the most widely debated explanations was that toxic mold in the house played a role. While the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office dismissed this theory in 2010, Monjack's mother, Linda, wasn't convinced. In a 2013 interview with the Daily Mail, she claimed her son had found severe mold in the home before his death. She also described how he had been experiencing frightening hallucinations, convinced that things were crawling out of his skin. Then, there's the chilling history of the house itself. Spears, who lived there before Murphy, reportedly had such a terrifying experience that she packed her bags and never looked back. Her former makeup artist, Julianne Kay, shared on the We Need to Talk About Britney podcast that Spears believed a Reiki healing session had accidentally opened some kind of spirit portal. Kay recalled Spears telling her that spirits in the house were trying to push her down the stairs. She was very persistent about it, Kay said, adding that Spears was so shaken that she checked into a hotel and never returned. Murphy also seemed to feel uneasy in the home. In a Hollywood Reporter interview, Monjack revealed that she disliked living there and often begged to stay somewhere else. She absolutely hated the rising Glen house, he shared. Every time we would drive up Sunset, Britt would say, "Please, can we stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel?" After Murphy and Monjack's deaths, Sharon sold the house in 2011 at a huge loss. It was eventually torn down and rebuilt, but some believe the eerie events had more to do with the land than the house itself. Paranormal researcher Johnny L. Tenney even suggested that Spears might have unknowingly sensed Murphy and Monjack's spirits before they had passed, hinting at a haunting from the future. Whether it was bad energy, bad luck, or something even stranger, Brittany Murphy's home remains one of Hollywood's most mysterious locations. Suspicious circumstances surrounding Simon Monjack's death.
That Simon Monjack was best known simply for being married to Brittany Murphy. Now he has followed her into death in an eerily similar way.
Wow.
Just 5 months after Brittany Murphy's tragic death from pneumonia and drug intoxication, her husband, Simon Monjack, has also died.
The HBO Max documentary, What Happened? Brittany Murphy, takes a deep dive into the life and mysterious passing of the beloved Clueless star. But instead of revealing new details, it raises even more questions, especially about her husband, Simon Monjack. Murphy's death in 2009 was officially ruled an accident caused by pneumonia and anemia, but the fact that Monjack died under eerily similar circumstances just 5 months later has left many wondering if something bigger was at play. Medical examiner Dr. Lisa Sheenan, who performed Murphy's autopsy, emphasized that her illness was treatable. If she had gotten to a hospital early enough, they could have possibly started treatment, but she would have had a chance, she explained. But Murphy never sought medical care, and many blame Monjack for keeping her isolated. His ex-fiancée, Elizabeth Ragsdale, didn't hold back, stating, "Even if he did not kill Brittany Murphy, he allowed her to die because he did not get her to the doctor." The documentary paints Monjack as controlling, cutting Murphy off from friends, monitoring her communications, and making sure everything went through him. Actress Lisa Riefel recalled, "One day her numbers were changed. No one knew where she was, couldn't find her, disappeared. Simon took her away." When Monjack himself passed away in May 2010, 5 months after Murphy, in the same house, in the same room, and with the same causes of death, speculation only intensified. Director Cynthia Hill, who led the documentary, described him as a disturbed individual who was used to conning people, adding, "Brittany was one of his last victims. His past was filled with deception, including falsely claiming to have terminal brain cancer." Screenwriter Allison Burnett remembered Monjack insisting he was cured by an experimental shark cartilage treatment. Ragsdale had a similar experience, sharing that he once told her he had spinal cancer as a way to manipulate her. Beyond the strange medical claims, Monjack's financial history was a mess. TMZ reported that after his passing, his family found suspicious wire transfers, including one for $48,000 to someone in Europe. He had also faced legal trouble, including fraud allegations, mortgage lawsuits, and multiple evictions. If that weren't enough, his loved ones discovered emails revealing he had 2 secret children. One of them, Jasmine, later told the Daily Mail that Monjack had abandoned her and never paid child support. "He didn't leave my mom anything at all when he died. No money at all," she revealed. While Murphy's death remains tragic, What Happened, Brittany Murphy makes it clear that Monjack's role in her life was troubling. His own suspicious death only deepens the mystery, leaving many to question if there's more to this story than what meets the eye. The case of Dave A. Chase. Dave A. Chase went from a rising child star to a name caught up in controversy, all thanks to a resurfaced video featuring Sean Diddy Combs. Most people remember her as the terrifying Samara Morgan in The Ring, a role so chilling.
I keep forgetting. I'm trying to do too many things. But long story short, that was a joke, man. That was just a joke. I think that was a Diddy joke that went too far, and people don't think that. See. I hate, because I did a joke on the YouTube channel. It was a joke. I thought everybody knew it was a joke, and it went too far. But, now you're saying what's my apology. I apologize. I emailed your apology and everything. Now, all of a sudden, was his apology sincere? That's the new video, y'all. And so I'm my answer to that is, now you're calling me a liar. So F you. F you with mutilated monkey meat. I'm done. Cut it off at the lowest denominator. So he see the cameras there, and he asking a little girl that's minored, "Are you coming to my ice after party?" Ha 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 ha. Girl, you know you too young, because I'm promoting my party. That was a joke. That's all that was. And y'all running with it like it's like he really wanted her to come. He probably did want her to come. But my point is, it was just
controversy.
A joke.
All thanks to a resurfaced video featuring Sean Diddy Combs. Most people remember her as the terrifying Samara Morgan in The Ring, a role so chilling it still gives people nightmares. At just 12 years old, she won Best Villain at the 2003 MTV Movie Awards, beating out some serious Hollywood legends like Mike Myers and Willem Dafoe. But years later, that night took on a whole new meaning when footage from the event made a comeback, leaving people questioning how young actors were treated in Hollywood. In the now viral clip, Combs, who was 33 at the time, is seen backstage with Chase right after her big win. Holding a drink, he casually asks, "You coming to the after party tonight?" Chase gives a shy nod, and Combs bursts into laughter, responding with an enthusiastic, "Yeah!" Back then, it might have seemed like a harmless moment.
Yeah.
Coming to the after party tonight.
But with the allegations surrounding Combs today, a lot of people are looking at it differently.
She probably was
Social
there.
media users were quick to weigh in, with one Instagram commenter saying, "The laugh made it 10,000 times worse." Another questioned, "Picture your own 13-year-old daughter being joked with by an older man about attending an after-party. Still funny?" Adding another layer to the situation, Ashton Kutcher, who presented Chase with the award alongside Combs, was also backstage when it happened. He didn't say much, but his presence has raised eyebrows, especially since an old interview suggested he knew more than he let on about what went on at Combs' parties. One commenter summed up the growing skepticism, writing, "Diddy was literally hiding his secrets in plain sight." Beyond this unsettling moment, Chase's career followed a path many child actors know all too well. After The Ring, she voiced Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Grump. I made her, but her head is too big, so I pretend a bug laid eggs in her ear.
Played Rhonda Vollmer in HBO's Big Love.
That was good. That was a real good voiceover. When you're looking at these cartoons and stuff, you don't even think about a human being doing the voiceover in that kid voice. You just think about the cartoon character, man. That was real nice. I like that.
When Stitch.
Grump. I made her, but her head is too big, so I pretend a bug laid eggs in her ear.
Played Rhonda Vollmer in
Like
HBO's
eggs in
Big
her
Love.
ear.
And even reprised
Very
her
good
Donnie
job.
Darko role in S. Darko. But unlike some child stars who smoothly transitioned into adulthood, she eventually faded from the spotlight. Fans have long speculated whether she, like so many before her, was just another young actor caught up in the industry's harsh reality. Chase once joked about her streak of bad luck, saying, "If you don't think it's funny, you're pretty much screwed for life." But looking at how Hollywood treated her, and so many other child actors, it's tough to laugh. That night at the MTV Movie Awards should have been all about celebrating her success. But now it's another unsettling reminder of the entertainment industry's complicated past. Ashton and Diddy's longtime friendship. With Sean Diddy Combs facing major legal trouble, people are side-eyeing his long list of celebrity friends. And one name that keeps popping up is Ashton Kutcher. The two were once Hollywood's ultimate bromance, regularly spotted together at star-studded events. But with new allegations against Diddy, fans are revisiting some of their past interactions with a lot more skepticism. Kutcher and Diddy's friendship goes way back to the early 2000s when they first met while working on MTV shows. At the time, Kutcher was hosting Punk'd, and Diddy was running Making the Band. Their introduction wasn't exactly friendly. Diddy actually called Kutcher to warn him not to prank him, saying it would not end well. But instead of tension, that conversation led to an unlikely friendship.
You know why?
Kutcher later shared on Hot Ones that
in the
they
same
became
stuff.
fast friends and would often hang out watching football. Diddy even acknowledged their early bond in a Time article, writing, I first met Ashton Kutcher when we were both on MTV. Before long, their friendship became a staple of Hollywood nightlife. Diddy even referred to their social circle as the New Rat Pack, which included Jamie Foxx and other big names. Kutcher and his then-girlfriend, Brittany Murphy, were often seen alongside Diddy, including a courtside appearance at an NBA All-Star game in 2003. By 2009, Kutcher was practically a regular at Diddy's famous white party, even co-hosting the event. The exclusive gathering had long been rumored to have an uncomfortable energy, as 50 Cent once described it. But what really happened behind closed doors remained a mystery. With Diddy facing serious charges, Kutcher's past connection to the rapper has become a trending topic. Insiders told people that Kutcher is not involved in any of this. But considering his history with Diddy, some fans aren't entirely convinced. Ashton's ties to Diddy's parties and the unspoken truth. Ashton Kutcher has somehow landed in the middle of all the buzz surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his notorious parties, thanks to an old interview that's made the rounds. While Diddy is dealing with serious allegations and waiting for his day in court, Kutcher's vague comments about those infamous gatherings have left people side-eyeing him, wondering just how much he really knows. Kutcher and Diddy go way back to their MTV days in the early 2000s. Kutcher was busy pulling pranks on Punk'd, while Diddy was behind making the band. According to Diddy, he wasn't about to let Kutcher make a fool out of him, so he called him up and warned him against trying anything. That unexpected exchange actually led to a friendship, and the two even ran the 2003 New York City Marathon together. Kutcher later described the experience as hectic, saying there were paparazzi all around us, while Diddy kept insisting, "You gotta slow down, but make it look like you're not slowing down."
Yo, I'm running out of gas right now, but we had like paparazzi all around us at the time. He's like, "You gotta slow down but make it look like you're not slowing down because I don't want to look like I'm not gonna be able to finish this thing."
But let's be real. It's not their jogs through New York that have people talking.
Yeah.
Diddy's legendary parties are the real mystery, and Kutcher has definitely been on the guest list. He attended the rapper's famous 2009 White Party, an event so secretive that no one really knows what happens once the doors close.
Wow.
Even rapper 50 Cent once hinted that something felt off at one of the gatherings, calling the energy there uncomfortable. So when Kutcher was asked about Diddy's parties during a 2019 appearance on Hot Ones, his answer only added more fuel to the fire.
Okay.
"I've got a lot I can't tell," he said with a sigh. After a long pause, he backtracked again, adding, "Can't tell that one either. I'm actually cycling through them." Diddy party stories, man. That was some weird memory lane thing.
Party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you
really?
have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I'm like actually cycling through them.
And that's supposed to be like a little jokey joke. That was funny. I can't tell that one. I can't tell that. But now all this stuff is surfacing. It's like, hold up. Yeah, you're right. You can't tell it. But why can't you tell it? Because there was a bunch of kids involved in cages. They call them pizza boxes. Why can't you tell the story? Now that's the question that's on everybody's mind now. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a pinched nerve in my neck, so I got to put my medicine on.
Surprisingly,
Uncle Mike,
social media
baby.
had a lot to say about that.
And proud of it.
Others brought up 50 Cent's remarks, suggesting that maybe Kutcher had seen things he wasn't comfortable discussing.
Of course.
As the internet dissected his comments, old photos of him and Diddy at various events resurfaced, sparking even more gossip. Some even speculated that this whole situation was causing tension in his marriage to Mila Kunis.
Facts.
But insiders quickly shut that down, telling people that the rumors were ridiculous and false. One source added, "Ashton has no involvement in any of this. He doesn't belong in this conversation about Diddy."
Yeah, like
Still,
hell.
Despite the denials, fans aren't convinced. With his cryptic responses and clear hesitation, the real question remains.
Like hell.
What does Ashton Kutcher actually know? Public backlash and hypocrisy. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have landed in hot water after writing letters in support of Danny Masterson following his conviction.
Like
The
hell.
That 70s Show alums described their longtime co-star as a man of decency, equality, and generosity, with Cooney's even calling him an outstanding role model and friend. But the public wasn't having it. Almost immediately, people pointed out the uncomfortable contradiction. How could Kutcher, who has built a reputation on advocating for victims, turn around and defend someone found guilty of serious crimes? The letters, meant to give the judge insight into Masterson's character, ended up sparking outrage instead. Critics felt the couple downplayed the severity of his actions, especially since they seemed to focus more on his stance against substance use rather than addressing the actual charges. One person summed up the issue, saying the letters made it seem like somehow substance use is worse than what he was convicted of. Things escalated when one of Masterson's survivors, known as Jane Doe No. 1, shared her thoughts through journalist Yashar Ali. This video was incredibly insulting and hurtful, she wrote, adding that she hoped Kutcher and Kunis would learn radical accountability and reconsider their privilege, especially given Kutcher's public support for survivors. Christina Ricci also chimed in, sharing a statement on Instagram that many believed was aimed at the couple. She reminded her followers that just because someone seems great in public doesn't mean they aren't capable of harm. People we know as awesome guys can be predators and abusers, she wrote, stressing that if someone truly supports victims, they need to take a clear stance. In response to the backlash, Kutcher and Kunis quickly put out an apology video, attempting to clarify their intentions.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson. Family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years.
A couple of months ago, Danny's family reached out to us, and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years, Kutcher explained. He insisted the letters were meant for the judge and were never intended to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them. Cooney's followed up, saying, "We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future." But their apology didn't exactly smooth things over. While character letters are often used in legal cases, this situation made one thing clear. Celebrity influence won't be tolerated when it seems to protect the wrong people. Mila Kunis' alleged exit strategy. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have been Hollywood's golden couple for years, but lately, their picture-perfect image has been looking a little less perfect. With Ashton's past ties to Sean Diddy Combs coming under scrutiny and the backlash from their support of Danny Masterson, people are starting to wonder if all is well in paradise. Now, whispers of relationship trouble are making the rounds, and some believe Mila might be slowly stepping away from the drama surrounding her husband. Kutcher's old friendship with Combs has raised eyebrows ever since serious allegations surfaced against the rapper. When old photos of them resurfaced online, people started asking just how deep their connection really was. A source assured people that Ashton has no involvement in any of this. But let's just say the internet wasn't buying it. Then there's the whole Masterson situation. Ashton and Mila's decision to write letters defending their That 70s Show co-star after he was convicted sent their public image into a tailspin. When their video apology dropped, it only made things worse, with fans calling it insincere and awkward. Journalist Yashar Ali didn't hold back, pointing out that their letters weren't just friendly character references, but actually used a great deal of Scientology phrasing that could be seen as dismissing the victims. Not exactly a good look. Things got so bad that Kutcher had to step down from Thorn, the anti-child safety organization he co-founded. Between the resurfaced Hollywood connections and their rocky public image, it's safe to say Ashton's been feeling the pressure. And now, we've got the divorce rumors. Ever since October, gossip has been swirling that Combs' legal troubles and the Masterson backlash have put serious strain on Ashton and Mila's marriage. A source told people that the split rumors are absolutely ridiculous and false, but some fans remain skeptical. Mila was even spotted having dinner in Los Angeles without Ashton, and Radar Online reported that a source close to the couple noticed, She and Ashton always look like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, but this time, she seemed more at ease. With their reputations on shaky ground and their marriage in question, people can't help but wonder, are Ashton and Mila headed for a Hollywood breakup? So, what do you think about this topic? Let us know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you find it interesting. Check out the 2 videos on screen that might just become your next favorites. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content coming soon.
What better way to hide, to let the world know or think that you are a good person, but when the cameras is off, you like to abuse, I don't know, younger people? I don't know what he does. I don't know. There's something ain't right with him. You hanging around this guy and you don't know what's happening? How come everybody that hung with Puffy don't know what's happening? What better way to hide is behind your own helping kids, what you call it, fundraiser, organization to help kids and stuff. What is the best way to do that? Crazy, man, sick. Hey, I'm gonna get on up out of here. We still looking for some information. I really think he gonna be called to the stand. If I was running this case, anybody that hung around or started saying stuff on YouTube about Diddy, I would like to talk to. Sit down and all this. We waste so much time on all this. How's the kids? How's the family? Okay, let's get to the point. What that boy do? That's what we need to start right there. Let's get straight to the point. Look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.